Hello student, welcome in the classes of data manipulation and analysis. In that we learn the concept of database. Today we learn entity relationship diagram, entity relationship model, that is ER model, the components of ER model and the symbols which are used in ER model. So let us see entity relationship model, that is ER model. It is a high level data model and this model is used to define the data elements and the relationship for a particular system. It developed for a conceptual design for the database and it's very simple and easy design to view the data or view the data of the database. ER model is provide some graphical symbols and graphical representation of your table and the relationship between the tables. ER diagram is used to show the relationship between the entities. Different entities as a tables, and the entity is a group of similar entities and this entity can have some different attribute. Entity is a one kind of table and the attribute is a field of that table. Simple example of entity is like student, employee, product is all are entities and the attribute of entity employee is employee number, employee name, designation, like that. So in entity relationship model, ER diagram is used to design a database and to show the relationship between the entities or more than entities. It used to showing the relationship among the tables and their attributes. And the ER diagram it used to show the complete logical structure of a database. It show you the structure of the database graphically. It used some different kinds of symbols to define the entities, to define the attributes and link between them. ER model contains different components. There are entities, attributes and different relationship. The entities are weak entity and strong entity. Different attributes. For example, a table that is a student. Student is a one kind of entity and the attribute of the student entity is roll number, name, marks, percentage, result, like that. So different kinds of attributes are there: key attribute, composite attribute, multi-value attribute, derived attribute and many more. We learn in detail. Then relation. Different types of relations are there between the entities, more than two entities. So the relationship between the entities are one to one, one to many, many to one or many to many. So these are the components of ER diagram or ER model. It is show you the relationship with the entities and the entities of their attributes, and the relationship is in one to one, one to many, many to one or many to many. Different types of attributes and different types of entities are there. We have to define the entities and attribute with the different symbols. So it provides the symbols like the rectangular box. This rectangular box is used to define the entities. So I already told you entities means any object or real world entities like table name, like a student, employee. So you have to define the entity with this rectangular box. For example, if you want to write student, so in this box you have to write the name of the table, that is student. Like this. Same way, between the entities or more than two entities there is some relationship. So the relationship is used to define in between this diamond. This diamond shape is used to define or it is used to represent a relationship between more than two entities. Then this oval shape. oval shape is used to define the attributes. So, student table or student entity has the attribute like roll number, name. So, you have to write this roll number in this symbol, that is in oval symbol. So, attribute is defined in this oval symbol. So, like ER diagram components, entities are strong entities or weak entity. Two different types of entities are there. Strong entity is represented in this rectangular box or weak entity is represented in double rectangular box. Same way, the weak entities relationship are also known as the weak relationship between the entities. If both the entities are weak, so the relationship between these weak entities are also known as a weak relationship. So normally the relationship is used to represent in a diamond. But if there are a weak entity, so weak entity is represented in double rectangular box. Same way, the weak relationship is also represented in a double diamond box. Same way, different types of attributes are there. This is a simple attribute, but if the attributes as a key attribute or multi-value attribute or composite attribute, so there are some different symbols which is used to represent the attributes. Like a multi-value attribute is used to represent in this double oval shape, like that. And the key attribute is used to represent with the underline of particular attribute. For example, roll number. If I can write roll number, if it is a RNO, this is a roll number. If this attribute is a weak, so I can write this underline under this roll number attribute. So this is a key attribute. If there is a composite attribute, then the composite attributes is defined like this. So different types of symbols are used to define a ER diagram. ER diagram draw करने के लिए आपको different symbols का use करना है. Yes, in that different components are there like entities, attributes and relationship. Entities are weak entity or strong entity. Attributes are key attributes, composite attribute, multi-value attribute and derived attribute. And their relationship is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one and many-to-many. So these are the components and the symbol which is used to draw the ER diagram. So over here I give you some example, or I show you some example like, see over here, the student. The student is a one kind of entity. So that's why this student entity is represented in this rectangular box. Same way, the student have many attributes like name, address, age and ID. So this name, address, age and ID is represented in oval shape. So this is the attribute of this entity. स्टूडेंट टेबल के जितने भी फील्ड है, नेम, एड्रेस, एज और आईडी, student ID, student age, student address, student name, that all are known as student attributes. So that all attributes are represented in this oval shape, and this line between the attribute to the relationship, it represents the link between the attributes and the entities. It show you the relationship between the attribute and the entity. Same way over here, there is a student and the course. Two different types of entities are there. Student entities and the course entities, both entities are related with each other. So that's why its relationship enroll in is represented in this diamond box. So this is the relationship between student and course, these two different entities with the one relationship, that is enroll in. So दो एंटिटीज को रिलेशनशिप शो करने के लिए हमें डायमंड शेप का यूज करना है. So are you getting? Are you understand the example? So in the next session we learn in detail about ER diagram, different entities, different attributes, relationship and how to represent entities, relationship and attributes. Fine all of you?